Hey folks, JD here, and today, look at this! We've got the Hubsan H502S. So this quadcopter is the brother of the Hubsan 502E. It has same features on the copter. The copter's a little bit more slimline. The design is a little bit different. Instead of it being red, it's now black. Other than that, it pretty much looks exactly the same. But what I'm most interested in is this transmitter. This transmitter is absolutely different to the last one, 100%. Little FPV screen, GPS toggle on and off, return to home toggle on and off. What I'm going to do now is we're going to turn on the quadcopter, we're going to turn on the transmitter, we're going to take her up and we're going to try out some of these features, including the Follow Me feature. So let's do it. Right. So again, little tricky battery bay door, nice JST connector. Pretty much the staple for a lot of quadcopter manufacturers when it comes to battery connections. Right, in. There she goes. First test, passed. Does she work? Yes. Lovely. Right, so now she's on. Let's turn on the transmitter. Now this quadcopter, there we are, auto binds. So there we go, as you can see now, a little bit different to the unboxing video. We've now got SD cards inserted, the battery of the quadcopter, the battery of the transmitter, GPS coordinates of the transmitter in yellow, GPS coordinates of the quadcopter in pink, as well as the voltage of the battery we're using. So everything is pretty, to be honest with you, it's everything that you're pretty much gonna need. Oh, there we are, 720p. We're currently recording in, and we have a recording life of 20 minutes and 12 seconds on this 4GB SD card. So, Calibrate Compass one, so same as the other guy. This compass calibrates first, being turned around in circles, and then once that is calibrated, then we'll need to do Compass 2. There you go, do Compass 2. So Compass 2 is tip it on its end, same as the other Hubsan. And turn around, there we go, so both messages are gone, messages are now clear. So now GPS on, we're just waiting now for this little GPS satellite number now to increase. Currently we have 4 satellites. It's recommended not to have any less than 6 new takeoff. When I tested the Hubsan H502E I had 12. And obviously then you can see the GPS of the transmitter as well. Currently 0 satellites. That would only bother us if we're going to do, or for when we come to do the Follow Me function. For the second, I think what I find is easiest in situations like this is to take the quadcopter and go for a little stroll. And then as you're walking around, this is what I did last time, you find that the amount of satellites just shoots up from 6 right the way up. No less than 6, we have 7. No doubt as it's flying it's going to gain more satellites, lock onto more. So let's turn on the motors and let's take her up. Forgot how stable these guys are and how quick they are. So here we go, it's just sorting itself out. Now we've got 9 satellites, so we've got a little breeze here today folks, coming in at just under 2 miles an hour. So let's record some video and let's take her out. Fantastic, look at her go. Oh, this one is very much faster than the H502E. It's and it's only on standard mode, it's not on expert. There we go, look at that, beautiful. So there, you can see me in the corner there. Hello. So that's perfect. So obviously then in the right hand corner as well, you're seeing distance up at 33 meters altitude for the time being. No, distance, 33 meters travelled, sorry, up at 7 meters altitude. There she goes, look at that. Such a good range of quadcopters, the Hubsan H series, or the H50 series rather. Cutting into the wind a little bit there. Now we've got 6 satellites on our transmitter. So with this now, what I'm going to do, let's bring her back a little bit. Go on in, fella. Back you go. Right, let's bring it to there. Oh, look at that sunrise. Absolutely stunning. Okay, so now with that, I'm going to push the right analog stick and now follow on. So now, as I walk, look at that! Let's turn around quickly, keeping an eye on the FPV, of course, running a little bit. Obviously the faster you go, the faster the quadcopter goes, and then as you move direction, it moves direction with you. So obviously I'm keeping myself in the center frame here just to show that it is moving. Now 11 satellites on the quadcopter, 8 on the transmitter. Look at that. And then when you stop, GPS then locks it down. Fantastic. Oh folks, let's go this way. So keep an eye. There we are, you can just see it's moving. Oh, so good. Talk about the lazy way to fly, but I tell you, such a fun little feature. So I'm just going to knock that off. Back into full control mode. Okay, so off we go. I want to try and see if I can get some of that sunrise for you today, folks, because it is beautiful. Look at this. Please, I hope this camera is a bit better than the last Hubsan, because it did find that in quite dark and also in quite light situations the camera just failed to record anything. So we're 6.4 meters. Let's take her up a little way, not too far. 14.3 meters now, altitude 36 meters traveled so far as well. There we are. So we've got a no battery symbol coming from the quadcopter. So let's bring her down, because I'm not quite enjoying that, if I'm honest. The LEDs haven't changed their order of flashing. So let's, before we do anything else, let's bring her down. Let's bring her down and let's test out this return to home function. So let's turn on the engines, the motors. Let's take her up. Let's take her out a little way, and then there we go. I think that's far enough. Perfect. Okay, got a bit of movement on the FPV screen. Let's knock on return to home. So that now will take the quadcopter up itself, turn it round, and then bring it down exactly where I took off. Obviously, at any other time you want to overwrite this, you can, just by unlocking the return to home button exactly as I've done there, and then you can have full control once again over the quadcopter's movements. So let's bring her down a bit, let's take her out a bit. Okay, turn her around. Now for this you don't have to turn her around either. She will turn around on her own until the camera, obviously the forward facing part of the quadcopter, will move herself back to the location that we were at, and then she will land and knock off the motors totally on her own. Okay, so the LEDs have actually altered their flashing sequence, meaning that the battery is low. Obviously when the battery does die out, only once that's happened to me, the quadcopter does lower herself and does shut off the motors totally. Okay, so let's knock on this return to home and see her land herself. So here we go, here she comes. Obviously don't forget this is fully GPS positioned, so it will be from the exact location that you take off. There she is, right above us. Obviously don't forget, at any time you want to stop the return to home, you can just knock off this button and then you can regain full control of the quadcopter and its movements. And there we go. Perfect. So, lovely stuff. Let's take her back up then. Let's knock off the... There we are. As now that we've returned home, it says at the bottom of the transmitter, return home. Knock off the return home button, back the GPS hold, and now we should be able to rearm the motors and take her back up. Okay, so let's take her back to our stump and then we'll go for the verdict. And that's it. Motors off. Oh, right then. Okay then folks, let's go for the verdict. Okay, so as with his other members, the Hubsan H502S is no different. It is absolutely fantastic. It is a brilliant quadcopter for beginners, for intermediates and for advanced flyers. It has GPS built in, obviously that is a huge bonus. The follow me function works fantastic. The return to home function, once again, absolutely outstanding. She came straight back to where I was, or from where I took off rather, set herself down and then turned off the motors. So yeah, I would recommend this quadcopter to absolutely anybody. A couple of little pointers. Don't forget when you are taking this quadcopter out to stop the video before you turn off the quadcopter, otherwise you lose all video that you've recorded. It's not one of those that as you turn off it saves itself and that's it. You will lose everything. Another point is that even though I'd just taken off and I had taken her only up to 7 meters altitude, you could see that the battery was under a little bit of strain. So maybe get a couple of other batteries before you take this guy out as well, charge them up, so at least if you do find that within time the battery does deplete, you'll just be able to switch it over, plug it in, and that's it, you'll be good to go. So there we are folks, I've been JD, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, happy flying.